Day 23 of why I am choosing to not participate in recession. I have an abundance mentality. I have a prosperous mindset. Wealth follows me wherever I turn. I have the wisdom of God and the creativity of the maker of heaven and earth, guiding me in the growth and development of my businesses. I have a big God. I honor him with the size of my dreams, goals, and expectations. Nothing is too big for him. The power of the Holy Spirit continually surrounds my life with his superabundance, causing me to radiate hope to those around me. I radiate hope. My family is exempt from the effects of supply chain disruptions, inflation, and any other economic downturn. I do not fear bad news, for I trust in the Lord. Wow, did you hear all those encouraging declarations? Some of them you have heard me use before. Of course, they are a bunch of personalized statements, which means I've done the work for you. I have included these bonus declarations in the notes section below this video. Say them out loud with emotion, and you will already begin to feel the encouragement and hope growing inside of you. There is a story that I have heard from an inspirational or motivational book or speech. Don't remember. I tried to find it, but I'm going to have to paraphrase it here. I don't know if it's a true story or some urban legend, but either way, it's a great story that makes a great point. There was a golf pro who had been hired by some sheik overseas for private lessons. The sheik was so pleased with the results of the training that he asked the golf pro what gift he could give him. The pro, not really knowing what to say, he thanked the sheik profusely and just declared that his payment was enough. Not satisfied, the sheik persisted, and finally the golf pro said, "Well, if you must, you can buy me a golf club." The sheik agreed, and the pro flew home and promptly forgot the conversation. A couple months later, a courier arrives and gives him some papers. The papers were the title deed to a golf course and the club that was built on it. Now that is a different level of thinking. Do you know that our God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills? And I am guessing that 1,000 number is just a representation of a lot of cattle, because 1,000 hills and you're not even outside of Texas yet. God owns all the cattle. He doesn't just provide food. He turns a boy's lunch into a meal for over 5,000 men. And that doesn't include the number of women and children. God is so big as he holds the cosmos in his hands. We need to get a bigger picture of the God that we say we believe in. Isaiah 55:9, "For just as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts." Inflation, interest rates, gas prices, these things are not bigger than God. Don't make them bigger than God in your mind and heart. In 2 Kings chapters 6 and 7, we find Syria making war with Israel. The Syrians were besieging Samaria to the point of famine, and the city was experiencing hyperinflation. Hyperinflation, that's a scary word we hear economists throwing around these days. And yes, inflation is even in the Bible. In fact, it was so bad that a little bit of bird dew was worth 5 shekels of silver. Yes, I said that correctly. Apparently, dove poop is considered edible in times of famine. Now, thank God I have never been so hungry that I have considered eating bird poop. But that's not the worst part. They were participating in cannibalism. The king of Israel was crying out to the Lord, and God sent Elisha the prophet with his answer. Elisha's prophesies that within 24 hours, there would actually be food, and that it would be so cheap that they just couldn't imagine it. This prophecy was beyond the king's ability to comprehend how it could even be possible. Elisha told him that because he couldn't believe God for this, he would see the miracle, but he would not be able to participate in it. Well, that evening, the Lord caused fear to fill the hearts of the Syrian army, and they fled, leaving everything behind. There was so much food left behind that the food prices dropped overnight. The king of Israel saw this miracle, but the people were in such a hurry to get to the food, he was trampled over and died. The size of your God determines how big he is to intervene in your situation. Your God is not limited. Your own thoughts limit your God. Your outlook determines your outcome. Well, for that matter, your outlook determines your income. Numbers 11:23. And the Lord said to Moses, has the Lord's arm been shortened? Now you shall see whether what I say will happen to you or not. I ask you, what is the Lord saying about your circumstances? His arm is not shortened. You shall see whether what he says will happen. I choose not to participate in a recession because I am elevating my thinking to honor my big, big God. He transcends any political leader's authority to influence my economy. He is not limited by time and space to provide for my needs and the needs of his children. He is a good, good father, and his arm is not shortened to save. Today's declarations. I have an abundance mentality. I have a prosperous mindset. Wealth follows me wherever I turn. I have the wisdom of God and the creativity of the maker of heaven and earth guiding me in the growth and development of my finances. I am happy, I am healthy, and I attract God-inspired ideas that produce great wealth. I am continually attracting the right opportunities and resources. I have a big, big God. Ha ha! I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.